Hey y'all. Okay, so let's go through the mind-body connection and how it plays out with the pancreas and conditions associated with the pancreas. All right, so the mind-body connection is the relationship between the mind, so the mental states and the emotional states, and the body, the physical state. So the mind-body connection definitely plays a role in various aspects of health, including influencing how the pancreas functions. So let's take this scenario. So let's just say that you have suspicions of someone stealing from you, or someone is around you that you don't feel has your best interests at heart, or you feel like maybe they'll do some type of harm, mental, emotional, physical type of harm, and you just feel like you can't trust them. Maybe it's the fact that they're always around and it just makes you anxious, because you're not sure like what's going to happen, and it kind of causes like excessive worry. Now your thoughts are leading your emotions to the negative side, which affects your emotional health. Remember, whether the events are real or imagined, the body cannot tell the difference, so it's going to have the same reaction every single time. So in some holistic practices like traditional Chinese medicine, emotions such as like mistrust, excessive worry, or anxiety has been found to influence the pancreas function. So this starts the stress response. So this is acute stress, our short-term stress. So remember that the stress response was designed to be turned on in times of immediate danger, but it was supposed to turn right back off once the stressor is gone. So now we're here again. You can't soothe that thought. It's becoming all-consuming. So you are probably on hyper alert when a person is around, because you don't feel like they have your best interests at heart. You're trying to figure out what they own. So that's just increasing your worry, anxiety, and your mistrust. And because it's a constant stressor, you're now moving into chronic stress, because the thought and emotion cycle is like continuous. So now you're in long-term chronic stress, and this can contribute to the development or the exacerbation of your physical condition that you already have that affects the pancreas. So the brain and the nervous system are constantly communicating with each other. And then the nervous system and the pancreas also communicate with each other via the vagus nerve, which connects the brain to the pancreas to influence the secretion of insulin. So insulin is made in the pancreas, which kind of helps the body convert that sugar or glucose into energy. So when we experience strong emotions like anxiety, excessive worry, or mistrust, it kind of activates our stress response, our sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. So all three of those, it's the same thing, which leads to the body releasing adrenaline and cortisol. So cortisol's main role is to stimulate glucose production for release into the bloodstream so that we can have energy. It has similar effects to adrenaline, but cortisol stays in the blood longer. Cortisol and adrenaline can affect hormones in the body, including insulin, in turn elevating blood sugar levels. So whenever cortisol levels are elevated in the body, blood glucose or blood sugar is elevated in the body. It kind of just goes hand in hand, because when that fight or flight or our stress response is triggered, cortisol is released into the body so that we can have more energy to fight. We need more energy to fight, so that we can have more energy to run, or so that we can stay on hyper alert for this stressor that we have. Cortisol is stronger than the effects of insulin, so it can kind of suppress the effects of insulin or kind of cause resistance to insulin. And this contributes to the development or exacerbation of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Side note, metaphorically, I kind of feel like diabetes is like missing the sweetness of life. So like thinking about how when life was better, when you didn't have to pay bills, when you were younger and you got to hang with your cousin all day, is something you kind of miss when life was sweeter or better. All right, so back to it. So what can we do to kind of influence the function of the pancreas. So we need to activate the parasympathetic nervous system so that our body can naturally start the healing process. So finding effective stress management techniques, meditation, deep breathing exercises, yoga can help lower the stress, which in turn positively impacts like pancreas function or your physical condition or diabetes. So lowering your stress can positively impact your blood sugar because cortisol is lowered, so your blood sugar is going back to normal. So you can definitely check out my stress management course, or you can visit me for a health coaching session, www.legacyinc.com. You can also, again, work on behavioral changes. I think this is the most effective, but it's just very hard because, again, it seems so simple, but it can be challenging. We've been living our life for how many ever years we've been alive. So it takes time to change our mindsets, our habits, our coping mechanisms, our eating habits. Even if some of them are unhealthy, we're just used to protecting ourselves or living in a certain manner. So a positive mindset and motivation can help with making healthy lifestyle changes. Also mindfully eating. So paying attention to what you're eating instead of like emotionally eating. Sometimes we just kind of numb out and we just eat and watch TV, and then before you know, we ate the whole container of ice cream. So mindful eating will definitely be beneficial. Also, community and connection. So making sure that you have a strong support system, connecting with others that maybe can relate to you can provide you like emotional support, and it can be beneficial to be able to just talk to somebody. Sometimes venting and talking to people can just be very helpful and healing. So addressing your emotional well-being, working with healthcare professionals to develop a comprehensive plan that considers the mind, the mental and emotional, and the physical, the body, and the psychological factors that influence the pancreas function. So look into lifestyle modifications, therapy, counseling, coaching, stress management, and then just overall emotional well-being to complement medical treatments for overall better health. So nothing manifests without it first starting as thought and emotion. So what's on your mind?